Today we are breaking down Ben Settle's Slacker Copywriting sales letter. Now, this sales letter is a very good sales letter. You understand? It's one very good sales letter that I recommend every sales copywriter that is trying to learn copywriting should actually read and break down. Now, you see, the reason why it is good to break down copywriting is because if you listen to all the best copywriters in the game, they will tell you that the best way and the fastest way to learn copywriting is reading the sales letter of other copywriters, of other successful copywriters, because you're able to see the strategies and the techniques, and all the way they structure their sales page. You understand? It helps you to understand the techniques of how to also apply and how to apply it to your own sales page. You're able to imitate them, and that's really the best way to learn any copyright, anything in this life actually. And now you see, for you to also break down a sales page, you also need to understand some fundamentals of copywriting. And one of the things that really helped me anytime I'm breaking down a sales page, you understand, one of the blueprints I follow that really helps me to understand what the copywriter is trying to do is the Clayton Makepeace 20-step copywriting. Now, that thing is so good. Like, I recommend it 100% to any copywriter that wants to be breaking down sales page. It really helps you to know the structure. It really helps you to understand why a copywriter writes something the way they do. You understand? It helps you to understand what they are trying to do. And it's something you can even download online. It's available online. And I will also leave a link for you to download it. You understand? In the comments. You understand? Check it out. But it really helps you to follow to understand what the copywriter is trying to do, and I will show it to you. I'll show it to you before we even start to break down this sales page. I'll quickly show it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, this is the 20-step copywriting blueprint by Clayton Makepeace. If you don't know, Clayton Makepeace is like one of the best copywriters of all time. You understand? And he gave 20 steps to follow when structuring your sales page, and it's so good. If you check all the successful sales letters you see today, you will either see all of these elements in them or some of them, but there is no sales letter without any of these elements. It's not possible. By just following the 20 steps alone, you can be writing successful sales copies after one another. Like, it's so good. If you see the first one is grab them by the eyeballs. That is talking about the headline, and he also even mentions the way you can do it. He says the way you can do this is to combine your most compelling benefits with something that sparks their curiosity. That's the best way to structure an headline. And the next thing it says is to support and expand on your headline. Number 3 is establish credibility. Number 4 is bribe him to read this. It does it all the way to 20. And it's really so good. It really helps you to understand how good sales letters are structured. So, without wasting too much time, let's go back to the sales page so we can break it down. You can see how Ben Settle uses all these elements in crafting his own sales data. Now, you can see that I cleared off some parts. Now, the reason why I cleared off those parts is because when I downloaded this document, the headline, it went to duplicate. So I didn't want you to get confused. That's why I just block out the duplicated parts. So now this is the headline. Slacker copywriting coach whose sales copy routinely gets praised by the world's highest paid copywriters reveals his secret way to make far more sales by spending far less time writing your sales copy. I've quickly batted out ads that have collectively earned tens of millions of dollars for businesses in hyper-competitive niches and against more talented copywriters using my copy Slacker method. You can use this method in your business too. With just a short 144-page training, so simple, you can learn it in one sitting today and be using it to make more sales in your business as early as tomorrow. Like, that is a dope headline. That's a really good headline. And I want you to see what he tried to do in this headline. Now, so when I'm trying to break down an headline, I cross-check them against two things. The first thing I cross-check it against is Clayton Makepeace 20-step copywriting blueprint. And he says the way to grab them by the eyeballs is by combining your most compelling benefit with curiosity, with something to spark curiosity. And if you see in this headline, the most compelling benefit that Ben Settle is promising the reader is make far more sales by spending far less time writing your sales copy. That is a really compelling benefit to any reader that is looking for how to make more sales in their business without writing without spending lots of time writing sales copy. That's a really compelling benefit. And it combines it with a curiosity, slacker copywriting. That's something you've probably never heard of before. Slack, you are wondering, okay, what is slacker? Is this a new kind of copywriting technique I've never heard of before? You understand? And you also said a copywriting coach whose work routinely gets praised by highest paid copywriters in the world. Now you are wondering that, okay, wait, who is this copywriter that is saying, his work is getting praised by everybody, by all the ISP, all those kind of things spark curiosity. And if you look at the deck copy too, it says his copy stacker method has made millions of dollars in hyper competitive niches. It's just filled with benefits and curiosity, the headlines. So you can see that it passed the first stage of Clayton Makepeace 20-step copywriting, which can make say that is the most important actually. And now the second way I like to cross-check it is against Robert Bly's the 4 U's of writing an headline. Robert Bly is also one of the best master copywriters, in his days. You understand? And he's the author of the copywriting handbook, which I recommend to any person starting in copywriting to get and read it. So now the 4 U's is the unique, the ultra specific, the useful, and the urgent. Now let's see if Ben Settle's headline passes those four things. Now the first thing is unique. Now you can see, like I said, unique slacker copywriting is something you've probably never heard of before. He also says his work gets praised by the world highest paid copywriting. These kind of things, it's unique. You've never heard of somebody come out and say, oh, everybody, all the world highest paid, they praise my work by the slacker copywriting. These kind of things, they are unique. It's not something you just see anywhere you go to. You understand? So now the next thing is ultra specific. Now you can see in the deck copy, it says you can use this your method to with just a short 144-page training. Now this 144-page training is specific. You understand? Now from that, the reader knows that, okay, this is probably a book or a document. This is ultra specific and it makes it more believable. It adds credibility to your headline. Now the next thing is useful. A secret way to make far more sales spending far less time writing your copy. That is useful because you want to read it and you're like, okay, wait, this is something I would like to know about. You understand? And he also said it has made tens of millions of dollars in hyper competitive niches against more talented copywriters. These are big claims that if you can prove that it's true, they'll be very useful for you. You understand? And now the last thing is urgent. You can see that it says you can learn it in one sitting today and be using it to make more sales in your business as early as tomorrow. Now this is urgent because the reader is like, whoa, wait, you mean I can read it today and start using it to make more sales in my business as early as tomorrow? That's urgent. So you can see that his headline passes all the four, all the 2 things that I like to cross-check it against. It passes everything, and that is why it's a very good sales copy. Now let's go to the next thing that Clayton Makepeace talks about. He said the second thing is to expand on the headline. Now he said when you want to expand on the headline, you make sure it reinforces the benefit promised in the headline, and you should continue to spark their curiosity. Now you see what he said, dear friend, if you want to make as much as double or even triple the sales your business makes from your sales copy while cutting your writing time in half and eliminating a lot of stress, frustration, and overwhelm you feel writing copy today, and you feel writing copy now, then this letter will show you how. You can see that it is the same. He's just expanding on what he said in the headline, and this may shock you, but I've seen a lot of copywriters that they write an headline but the opening copy is totally different from what they write in the headline. That's a big mistake you want to make. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is make sure that what you use to open your copy is connected to your headline, so you don't confuse the reader. And you can see that it does that really well. Now let's go to the next thing. The next thing that Clayton Makepeace says is to establish credibility when you are writing your sales letter. Now you can see he said, my name is Ben Settle, and 20 years ago I was a broke, desperate copywriter in so much debt. I was literally almost bankrupt and I barely got paid anything to write copy. And even when I did get work, I would stare at a blank screen for days, wondering what to say or how to begin. and then I'll spend several weeks reading my copywriting books and so far for it. What I believe he's trying to do here is to identify with the reader, to establish honesty. When someone is reading this and the person, because the prospect of this, the reader of this sales page is probably in this position right now. This is what they are struggling with. So when the reader sees that, oh, okay, this is somebody that has once experienced what I'm experiencing now, it establishes this connection between the both of you, and that is very important because you want to disarm the prospects. You want to make sure they feel connected to you so that they can receive your sales message and end up taking the action you want them to take. So now let's continue. He said, long story short, he said, but you know what the worst part was, after all this time obsessing over my copy, blah blah blah, and he also said, then call it luck, fate, or divine intervention if you want. But I got a call from an internet marketer who had read a bunch of my copywriting articles. I was admittedly one of those acts who taught copywriting but didn't do it successfully myself. And he offered me a chance to write an ad for a high ticket and unproven product where he would pay me 50% of the sales if the letter worked and nothing if he did. Now, you see what I believe he's trying to do here is, he made claims in his headline that his ads have thrived in hyper-competitive niches and against more talented copywriter. Now you can see that he's trying to, he made a claim in his copyright, in his headline. Now he's trying to prove how it happens. You understand? In the copy, he's trying to prove how it happens, and he's trying to he's also trying to let the reader to know that, okay, this is something that can work no matter the kind of product you are selling. You understand? So he's just trying to prove the claims he made in the headline. So now let's continue. He said, since I was in a hurry and didn't have time to spend weeks or months writing the copy, I decided to do a little experiment to write the ad faster than usual. Now, if you remember, one of the claims he made in the headline is to make far more sales in far less time. Far less time is a claim. Now you can say that he's trying to prove it here that, okay, so there was a time in his life when he had to write something quickly fast and he decided to do one little experiment. That sparks curiosity. That little experiment sparks curiosity. You understand? And it also continues to, he's trying to prove the claims he made in his headline to explain more to the reader how he did it. And if you look at Clayton Makepeace's copywriting style, we see what he said. Now, you can see that Clayton Makepeace said, what can you do to prove to the reader that you're a credible authority on this topic? What paying attention to? And especially who they can put their trust and belief in. You can see that that's what he's trying to do. And now the next thing Clayton Makepeace said that is bribe him to read this. And he said the way to do that is to is to give promises of what the advertisement is about. Like, these promises will point to something in the ad itself that gives them some benefit that they're after. Now let's see how Ben Settle did this in his own sales letter. Now he said, since I was in a hurry and didn't have time to spend weeks and months writing a copy, I decided to do a little experiment to write the ad faster than usual. It was in many ways opposite of what a lot of gurus were teaching. Now, he wrote this to spark curiosity, you understand? He used it to start, because you can see that goes against a common belief that, okay, this is not what you see anywhere. This is not what a lot of you gurus out there are teaching you. Now, the reader wants to know, okay, what is this? What's this thing that no other guru can teach me? It's a way to get the reader to continue to read. And he said, I didn't really think it would work, but I figured I had nothing to lose. My ad sucked anyway. So with a few days to spare, I quickly created using my experimental method for researching and writing copy. The ad was far from perfect, but as the client said, it was good enough to run, and we mailed it. Now, the reason why I wrote this part is to let the reader know that you don't have to be a very good copywriter to be able to use my method. That's what he's trying to prove here. That even if you suck, even if all the ads you've been writing is rubbish, it doesn't matter. You can use my method. And he wants to prove that. Let's see how I prove. That's a claim, right? And in copywriting, when you make a claim, it is important you prove it. So let's see how he proves it. He said, the result, that one just good enough sales letter helped me pay off my cars and other debts in a matter of weeks. But that's not all. The sales we made of that sloppily written ad were so big that the client and I attracted joint venture partners from UK, Australia, and other countries who wanted to use that ad to sell our products on their list too. Can you see how he proved it? And you also let the reader know that, okay, even though you are not good, you can make tons and tons of money and tons of sales for yourself in your business. And now he has finished establishing his credibility. Now the reader has a reason to listen to Ben Settle. He has established his credibility. And remember, the next thing that Clayton McPhee said that you should do is to bribe the reader, right? Now let's see how he bribes the reader to continue reading. Now he said, but I had to wonder, was I really onto something with this way of writing ads that lets me bypass weeks and months of stress and tediously obsessing over my copy? Or was this just some kind of one-hit wonder that only worked for a particular product and list? So I immediately tested this new formula on some other copywriting gigs. Now, this is also proving the claim that he made in his headline that you can use this method in your business too. You understand? The reader is probably wondering, okay, wait, it's an objection. They probably have an objection that, okay, can this work in my business? You understand? So now he's trying to prove to you that yet it can. And he said, and guess what? Not only did I knock out that copy in record time, now you can, in record time, that's another proof to show you that you can do this spending far less time. But he said, but this other ad made even more sales. Can you see that it still ties into the headline, to the benefits he promised in the headline, that you can spend far less time and make far more sales. You understand? And yeah, he's bribing you to read. Now you're wondering that, okay, wait, you mean even the ones you wrote after were even better than what you wrote the first time? This is a way to, this is a promise. Clayton maybe said that the way to do it is to give them some promises of what they want to know. Just tease them, give them some teases of what the benefits they are after. And this is the teases, like making tons of sales those are benefits that the reader is after. So now it says, and it was like the floodgates opened. Writing ads became unbelievably fast and easy, with sales pouring in. My method gave me so much free time. Colleagues called me a slacker. Now he's making claims. And after you make claims, you have to prove it. So now let's see. He keeps on making his claim, but he's going to prove it. Let's see how he proves it. So he said, and clients started seeking me out to write their ads instead of me seeking them out. That's a claim, and that's a very big benefit. Like, imagine when clients are the one chasing you, not you chasing them. And he said, in many cases, they didn't even want to see my portfolio. That's another crazy claim. Can you see he's making some big claims? That means he has to back up these claims. He said they either bought something from one of my ads and wanted to hire me because they knew I wrote the copy. Now he wants to prove it. Like the owner of the company Magnetic Sponsoring did. Now that's a proof. It was, he said that they don't want to see his portfolio, that they are not like chasing him. He said one of the people that did that is the owner of Magnetic Sponsoring. That's a proof. Another one, he said, or did they had seen a demonstration of how I worked, like the world leader in the self-defense training at that time, Captain Chris Pizzo did. That's another proof. Or they simply saw how I applied this new way of writing to other people's ads, like the founding father of internet marketing, who Time Magazine gave props to, Ken Marketing did. That's another proof. You can see. And so now he has done the fourth part of Clayton McPhee's 20-step copywriting. Now the next thing he wants to do is to deliver value. Like, let's see what Clayton McPhee says how you can deliver the value. You see, number 5, deliver value. He said, my favorite way to do this these days is to really help them to understand the problem that my product will eventually solve. So when you are trying to do this, that is what you have to do. So let's see how Ben Settle did it. Now he said, anyways, my slacker-friendly method is based on 2 things. Criminal profiling research. Now he said specifically, doing research based on how certain law enforcement agencies profile and get inside the heads of and psychology of serial killers, terrorists, and other criminal masterminds. I figured if it works to getting to know these bad guys, I could use the same methodology to get into the heads of my customers, so I will know exactly what they are thinking, what they want to what they want to buy, and what to say to them. Fact is, when you know what to say, it doesn't matter all that much how you say it. Quickly written ads are just as good as enough as downright sloppy. Okay, before I move on, I want you to understand what he's trying to do here. Now you can see, he's telling you that, he's trying to tell you that, okay, so all these claims that I've been making, about my Slacker copywriting bringing in this much of sales, how did they work? What made it work like that? You understand? What made it work like that? Now he's telling you that he's using the same method that law enforcement agencies use to get inside the heads and psychology of serial killers, terrorists, and other criminal masterminds. Now, not only does this spark curiosity, because now the reader is like, okay, wait, chill. Are you kidding me right here? So you are trying to tell me that you mean you are using the same method that these guys are using? All these kind of things sparks curiosity inside the head of the reader, and it also interests them. It arouses their interest, because something like this is actually interesting. You want to know how it works too, and how you can use it. And also, it now goes to the benefit. He said, so you can know what your customers want to buy, what they are thinking, and what to say to them. These are benefits that the reader definitely wants to have. You understand? These are the things that is telling you that his product will solve for you. You will know how to know what your reader is thinking. You know how to know what to say to them. You know how to know what they want to buy. He's basically giving you a hint that is what his product will solve for you. And he also said, now you also reinforcing to let you know that you don't need to be a good copywriter to do this. He said quickly written ads are just as good enough, or even downright sloppy, can make you ton of sales. He's still going back to the same thing that he said, that you can make a lot of money spending far less time, even if you are not good in copywriting. You understand? So he's telling you that it doesn't matter if you are good or not, you can still use this to work. Now the next thing he says is dumb down simplicity. What I mean by this is, I decided to throw out all the complicated 50-point copywriting checklist formulas and templates all the gurus were pushing. I had no doubt that those things worked for them, but all those noise just make things more overwhelming for me and made the whole copywriting process take way too long. So instead, I reverse engineered exactly how a few world top copywriters structure their ads that none of them seem to teach for some reason, and broke it down into 5 easy steps that even a frustrated and overwhelmed newbie like me could follow. Now you can see, he's also telling you that, okay, with my program, you are not going to need all those overcomplicated things that other gurus are telling you to go and do. No, you will not need it. He's not telling you that all he had to do was reverse engineer what other successful copywriters have done. He started telling that, okay, I will teach you. And he said something here to spark curiosity. He said, which some of them don't teach for some reasons. Now you're wondering, okay, what is this thing? Oh, is this what I've not seen? He's trying to let you know that, okay, this is something that you cannot just find anywhere. And this is scarcity. This thing is creating some form of scarcity in the mind of the reader, because now the reader knows that, okay, even if I finish reading this sales letter, I cannot see it anywhere, because these gurus don't teach it. So that means the only way I can get it is inside this training that this guy wants to probably show me, or something like that. You understand? So you can see that he's showing them what the things that his product will solve for them as time goes on. Now, okay, let's continue. Now he said, what I mean by the result, a ridiculously simple way to write copy fast that also makes a lot of extra sales. In fact, some people who have shown it too have accused my copywriting method of being too simple. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe. What I do know is that my sales letters using this method have collectively, between my client's business, since helped to the extent the copy can play a part, make $10 million or more in sales in some of the most competitive niches like golf, weight loss, self-defense, biz-up, which I have competed against more talented and hardworking writer. Believe it or not, Now you can see. Now let's. This place is interesting. This place is interesting. Now, first of all, he said. Now he handled an objection here. One of the problems that his prospect is probably having is hard of copywriting being too hard for them to do. So now he's telling you that other copywriters have accused his own copywriting method of being too simple. That even a newbie like him, a frustrated someone like him can follow. Now the reader is probably like, okay, I am frustrated, I am overwhelmed. If this guy says he followed it, it's probably that means me too I can follow it too. You understand? So now it eliminates that fear of something being too hard. Now, he also made claims in his headline that his work routinely gets praised by world-class copywriters. Now, you see, he wants to prove it here. He said, after he made a claim, first of all, the same claim that he has been making, that his copy has brought in millions of dollars in sales in some of the most competitive niches in planet. Now, he measured the niches like golf, weight loss, self-defense, and biz up. You understand? Now, it's being specific because he said some of the most competitive. Now, the reader is probably, okay, what are the competitive niches you are talking about? Then he now mentions them. So the reader is like, okay, that's good. Now he understands the competitive niches. Then now also handles the next objection. He said, he said he has also competed against more talented copywriters. Then he mentioned them. And he mentioned them like Ryan Ely, a world-class copywriter for several major financial publishers like Agora, and even pissed off Ray Edwards, who has the biggest book of who is who internet copywriting clients, because I make it so fast and simple. Now, can you see? He has proved the claims he made in the headline. That, okay, I made this claim, now I've proved it to you. So you can see how he's doing all these things. So now, I don't want this to be too long, so we'll continue this in the next video, which you should check out after you finish watching this one. Thank you.